Um, like I said, I'm Archimedes, Abria. Uh, I really didn't have your route. These guys have a route that most people usually take, and my story is more like fail and try again, fail and try again, fail and try again. Because I went to, I grew up in Richmond, and if any of you know how that works out, there's parts of the city where police don't go at nighttime, right? Because it's that bad. And we didn't really have all the greatest things. One of the things I think that I had then was my imagination to be able to leave there and start doing everything else I could do. And I tried college multiple times. I went back 4 times, and I had to make money. My dad kind of like left our family when I was 15. My brother was 5, and left 4 kids to my mom to raise by herself. So I instantly became the man of the house, and I've been hustling since 15 years old. And like I said, I had to fail a lot of times to figure out what I really wanted to do. And at first, it was about just like personal training, and like I wanted to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, he's doing all these great things, and by being strong and projecting that, I feel like people would listen to me. And by the time I got fed up with school, I had to make sure that I was going towards the direction that I wanted to actually do. Because I worked for UPS. I don't know if I could say them or not, but I worked there for like 11 years. And in those 11 years, I realized that just because you're a hard worker and you can do all those basic skills that everyone else can do, it doesn't matter if you don't know people at the top in those kind of companies. So I strove out to make my own way, and I started doing the personal training thing just to make side hustle money. I started selling things on eBay. Um, you know, I would fish for food, if that makes sense. I used to be outside of Home Depot, porque yo hablo español también, right? And there was times in my life that was very trying. Fast forward a few years, I became a personal financial analyst for some time. Got really understanding or real good understanding of how money actually works in this world and who actually moves and touches it. Right? For the most part, we don't. Right? So in order to become that person who touches money, you need to be an entrepreneur. Right? You need to figure out those kind of routes. And eventually I got to a place where I became a USA boxing licensed coach. I branched out and started my own stunt team, and I've been having a passion for martial arts since I was a little kid. And yeah, just a short preview of what happened to me. My average day, I usually get up around 5 a.m. I change, get ready for my first client, which is about 6:45 to 7, depending on when they get there. And I kick their butt till about 8 a.m. And then I go to my next client, which first I'm at 24 Hour Fitness, then I go to my fitness studio, and I'll train there until about noon with multiple clients, depending on which days, either 4 or 5 or even 6 at that time. Then I guess you could call this my personal time. From about 12 to 3 or 4 o'clock, again, depending on which day, I train myself. Just as much as I kick other people's butts, I'm in there grinding too. And, a 3 hour workout or a 4 hour workout is something normal to me. All right. And I also train 2 to 3 times a day sometimes. All right. I train stunt, I do my cardio, I do my powerlifting, I do my bodybuilding, and then on the weekends, I try and plug in all of my film, like appearances and stuff like that, so that they'll only work with me, and my schedule works out of a 12-hour day from, let's say, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then I also have a nightlife. and then on Sunday I'll kind of take that whole day off. How you guys talk about the whole balance thing? Through the week, I'm grinding hard because I don't leave there until about 10 at night, 10:30 at night. And so, understand I'm already kind of sleep deprived, but then I catch up and take big vacations. Um, it's totally true. I like what you said with the whole if it's not on the calendar, it's not real. The instance you get that put into your head and figure out that if you're not planning out your life, someone else is. All right, you got to remember that because for a long time I had someone else plan out my life for me, and I was thinking like, oh, they're gonna take care of you, but in all essence, everyone really just takes care of themselves, and we choose to be around each other and have fun, or battle it out, you know. But that's a typical day for me. Okay, so I knew one day I was gonna say this story of my first job in the film industry, and it's super funny to me because I was in the gym on the elliptical at the boxing gym that I used to train at, and some actress from a show that I currently work on now. It's called Martyrs and Marauders on YouTube. It's going to be premiering in later this. I want to say it's late September, and literally she was asking the front desk girl, "Hey, do you know anybody that can do this, and this?" And the girl at the front desk was like, "Are you looking for Ark?" And so she was like, "Who's that?" She goes to the back, gets me off the elliptical, and you gotta understand, like I'm dripping wet with sweat all over, right? And so I get outside, and it's an actress and her homegirl, and they're super attractive. I'm like, oh crap, who are these people? And they started talking to me the whole spiel about, oh yeah, would you be able to do this and this? We're working on this really big project, and I was like, man, this can't be real. Is this really real right now? Like somebody just randomly walks into my workplace and asks to do something that I've been doing my whole life. Like when you guys say, who knows the Ninja Turtles? I Now when I say who knows how to use all their weapons, nobody raises their hands, right? I trained every day thinking I was Michelangelo, thinking I was Raphael, thinking I was Leonardo, you know, my favorite characters. And now I'm doing that job, or I'm just like living through a creative window, and I'm able to do it and get paid for it, and it was just, again, it was a fluke, it was random. But when people say, there's no such thing as luck, it's really that you were prepared for the opportunity. That's what made your luck, and I got lucky that day. I want to say networking is probably like showing up to a panel, and you got a real estate guy, you got tech with the food. I got a patent guy right here. Guess what? I'm an inventor. Guess what? This company is also thinking about putting together farms that will branch out together and do kind of like a bartering system where we don't have to buy food outside because people are putting pesticides in those things. You see what I'm saying? Right? This guy's what, real estate developer?
Real estate attorney, yeah.
Real estate attorney. Guess what? We're gonna need buildings to grow things inside when it's wintertime, right? And I'm talking to another guy who's in the like naval industry, where I'm gonna have boats floating around in the sea, and when there's a famine, these boats have been floating around building up food for when there's famine, and they just slide over there. Get it? Armada, all right? You can go anywhere you're at right now. All of these people right here, they just became my friends. You see what I'm saying? Right? It does not matter where you go. It's how you get there, and it's who you talk to. That doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You guys get me? You know we're all gonna connect after this, right? Perfect. This is a really personal thing for me. Um, it actually ties into the symbolism of my clothing brand and what I actually stand for. When I was about 9 years old, I witnessed a crime, violent crimes, that I could not help the people out, and I've been training martial arts since I was about 6 years old with my dad, and I'm thinking like, I can take on a grown ass man, but that's not true. You know what I mean? At 9 years old, you're thinking all kinds of other things, and years later, not knowing that that trauma actually manifested into what I am today, which is I protect people. I have a guardianship. You know, my business right here. If you actually look at this, I live by three things: discipline, which is the bottom floor; wisdom, because with discipline you gain your wisdom, and then with wisdom you gain strength, right? And those are the three sides of the triangle that I live by. Inside it is a circle, which is a circle of life. And if you see that there's lines that have empty spaces right there, that's a darkness that lives in all of us. All right. And these philosophies, that's why the wings are there, because I want these to be carried everywhere I go, whoever I meet. The name Astral Armada actually means of the stars and fleet of ships or universal fleet. And oftentimes when there's a real war going on, they send in the Navy to clean everything up, right? And that's what I'm doing. I'm going around teaching people self-defense to empower themselves in any kind of situation. And it ties into when being strong, I don't know if you guys ever heard that quote. They say, you don't know how strong you are until you're really pushed. I'm actually a cancer survivor. That's what this scar is on my neck right here. I had a mucoepidermoid carcinoma when I was age 21. At that time, I was 179 pounds of ripped hard muscle, ready to kill people in the boxing ring. Okay, and I got really, really depressed after that because I could fit about half of my fist in my face at the time. All right, because it took out a lot of the soft tissue, so I looked kind of like, I felt like Phantom of the Opera. And I didn't show my face nowhere for almost 10 years. I ballooned up to about 384 pounds. Okay? Nobody knows this part about me. And I didn't take any pictures, so you'll never see any pictures of me that big. All right? And I've been grinding myself down multiple times, going up and down in weight. And I teach and help people every day to have a mentality of just keep going. That last mistake, that little, chicken nugget you ate the other day, that's all right. Let it pass by. Keep going. There's so much more out there, you know?